Hey, Mike here with Canadian Musician. Of course, North by Northeast is going on right now at the Java Hut, crashing the dinner of Odonis Odonis. Dean, Jarod, Denholm, how you doing tonight, guys?
Good.
Very well, thanks.
How are these nachos going?
They're pretty good.
Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad.
Well, I believe you guys have actually pretty much done your shows for North by Northeast. You did I think you did 2 or 3 shows in Toronto this week. 2 shows in Toronto. First, kind of the generic how to go, but I saw that you'd posted something on Facebook earlier, just like the pumped up visuals of last night's show, which I know is nothing totally unusual for you guys, but what did you have going on?
We got our friends to put together a show, Romar and Kate.
Facade Montage. Shout out.
So they stepped up our live show for us for this North by. We thought we'd do a little bit of extra.
So it's been about a year since Hard Boiled Soft Boiled came out, and before we kind of look back on that, get into the kind of the writing, recording, a bit of your guys' history, just first of all, is there any plans, have you guys been writing new materials, or any plans for a follow-up to that yet, or even if it's just vague?
That's all we've been working on.
Yeah.
So we went and recorded in Vancouver at the Hive, so we've recorded most of the record, but we just booked a bit more studio time, so we've just been working non-stop on this thing, but we just want to make sure it's right, so we're taking our time, because I don't feel like there's a rush to do this right now. So,
is this like a more drawn-out recording process than the others were, or is this typically kind of how you guys work?
The recording process was actually fairly quick. We only really had 5 days in Vancouver to get stuff down. What has been more drawn out is after that recording, we did a small, very low-key tour in the States for 2 weeks, and that kind of helped us finish writing, actually. And then we went back to the mixes, which we had done a few passes on, and kind of enhanced that. So all that stuff is informing the mix, and that's kind of taking the longest, but it's all good.
They keep evolving, even if it's like small changes. It keeps evolving, so that they're not quite done, but it's great to have the process to go from live back to the recording to live back and and tweak it, because like some stuff works when you're just like, you start playing and something feels a lot more natural. You put that in as opposed to do it on the computer, like having it feel really robotic. It's just you figure stuff out live that you would never do at home. So,
and it's not to say like that process is meandering or like, you know what I mean? Like we're lost in, or frustrating or lost, or we've lost what it is. Not at all. It's all been like a very natural progression. It feels really right.
Yeah. Not forced at all. I don't feel like pressure or any kind of weirdness about it. I'm just like, it's just happening. We'll get it done.
It's exciting. It's like that thing you did live, like that part dropped out. Let's change. It works better. So it's fun. Yeah.
I believe both albums so far are also recorded out in British Columbia, and you guys are met in Toronto. You're based in Toronto. Buzz Records is based in Toronto. Like, why is it that you keep going back to British Columbia to record?
I'm really good friends with Colin. He's the best dude, and and we also just really want to get out of the city, because there's like so many distractions for us here. So I think we all just want to focus on just writing, not be that's it.
Okay. This is going well. The songs that made up the first 2 records, Dean, from what I understand, it was both those songs were kind of taken from the same sort of era writing sessions that were all done before the release. Well, obviously before the release of the first record. For the new material that you're working on, is this updated material? I'd seen you say in an old interview you had enough of that still left from those sessions for a 3rd album, but that you're kind of looking to stop digging into that well.
Totally started over multiple times. This is going to be completely new stuff. Like even a few weeks ago, with like some of the songs we've been playing at this festival are brand new that we just started writing together like 3 weeks ago. So there's going to be a lot of we want to keep it fresh. We were like spent way too much time with older material and learning that it's finally going to be, when we finally have this release, will be finally happening at the same time as we're still excited about the songs. So it won't be super ancient.
For Jarod and Denholm, for you guys, like the fact that, because you guys hadn't been part of the group, or like what is now Odonis Odonis wasn't formed when Dean here wrote the songs that were on the first 2 records. Now being around and being part of the collaboration for the new material, does that kind of change your guys' approach to it at all?
approach to the band.
Yeah, well, approach to the music as far as knowing, being there when it's written, or at least being around when they come into formation.
Yeah, like we kind of knew going into it, we had these 2 records of material to get through, but we would always kind of work on stuff on the side, and it was always interesting, and we were experimenting and figuring it out. And so now, like Dean said, it feels like everything is, it's like a confluence now, like where we're at together and writing is what we're going to put on the next album, and it's really fun. It's really exciting.
Yeah, agreed. No, yeah, I like that. It's good. It's very good.
Has your writing style changed at all since, like, with those first 2 albums coming from the same era? That's now, what is it, about 4 or 5 years ago now from when those would have been written. In those intervening years and seeing the success of what that's happened, like, has your own writing style changed?
I mean, I think we're always trying to do something different. I mean, I think most of the influences probably come from the same place, but it doesn't sound the same at all. I think we always catch people off guard when we're playing this new stuff because they're like, what the hell's going on? This is like a completely different band. Like, we really like throwing a wrench in things, so.
It made some people angry, doing that. I think people that initially, especially there was a recent show in New York, someone came expecting our first record, and we played this brand new stuff that we're playing this year, and they were actually mad at us. Yeah, I tried to give them a T-shirt, and they knocked it out of my hands and told me to piss off.
Her quote was, "You guys are bullshit."
With that drunken slur?
Yeah. It took them a half hour to get her out of the venue after they closed. She wouldn't leave. And she was really mad.
The strangest experience.
And really drunk.
All right. Drunk people aside, for those who haven't seen you live yet since you started performing new material, what is it that's catching people off guard? What's so different about it? Anyone want to take it?
Instrumentation, totally. I think instrumentation's number one. We have an entirely new setup for the band, and the music itself is incredibly different and more beat-driven and electronic. But it still encapsulates a lot of the melodies we, stylistically were using before, just in like a new frame. But I mean, when people get used to a record, they expect to hear the same thing over and over again, and creatively, that's just not where we're at. So we're constantly like challenging ourselves in that level. And I think that's what really messes with people's heads, is just like, oh, I expect this, and then they get something totally different, and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do anymore, and I don't like this band anymore. Or I now love this band, and I just showed up here for no reason. So it goes either way.
We actually seem to do a lot better on the I showed up here for the other band, but you guys got my attention, rather than the I showed up here for you to play your first record. Yeah.
When we do another record,
right.
And so it's like
the cycle.
It's a cycle.
We have to catch them off guard.
It's like visually, like we kind of talked about off the bat here. Like, the visuals are a big part of your show. You guys' music videos get a lot of attention online. Dean, I know that you've done film editing. You went to school for visual art, that kind of thing. Like, first of all, was that kind of part of the plan from the beginning, that the music and the visuals, whether live or in video, are intertwined?
For sure, yeah, definitely. We're always trying to. I think it's actually getting better now, because I think we're figuring out our aesthetic even more now than ever. So I think when we go into this next record, it's going to be really confident in what we're trying to do now, and we've figured out a lot. So I'm really excited to come back strong, but it's not 100% there yet, but we're close.
As you're writing and recording, is that visual aesthetic for the songs in your mind?
Yeah. It's a full package. Yeah.
Totally. Totally. Let's do.
Can we redo the totally?
B-roll, totally.
Let's do it. Totally. There we go.
I think it was perfect.
Nailed it. But yeah, no, sorry. Did you want to add something to that? But
what were we talking about?
just are those visuals
totally
kind of in your mind in some way, even if it's like just a basic aesthetic when you're writing and recording?
Definitely just sets up like the framework of where we're trying to go with the music. I think we're doing like a more minimalistic approach to a lot of things. So having the aesthetic being minimal and everything, we can kind of keep feeding into one idea. Hopefully it will be more cohesive or not. I don't know. We'll let you know when it comes out, but I don't know. It is what it is. It's kind of holding it all together. Yeah.
So it didn't work out.
We talked about, yeah, we're not doing that anymore.
That happens all the time. Like, you see bands in interviews are like, "Man, I'm making this like country record or so." I don't know. And then it ends up being this like electronic record. I don't know.
Lastly here, because Hard Boiled Soft Boiled did really get a lot of critical attention, obviously got a Polaris nod. Has that, not the way necessarily how you change the music, but does it, knowing that people are now going to be paying extra attention, more people, critics are going to be paying attention to whatever it is you guys come out with next, is that in your minds at all, or is that in any way affect what you're doing?
Oh no, man.
But yeah, seriously, no, not really. Like, I think with this stuff, we really just kind of really just pushing for what we're excited about, and I don't know. There's something really fun about it. It's just no concern about that. And I think the last two shows that we just played are the culmination of the efforts we've been putting in, and I think we really achieved this vision of the live set and the actual sonic quality and the performance. It all just really came together, so I think, yeah, it's going to pay off.
Anyways, I'll let you guys, Jarod's already finished here while we were talking. Denham's I appreciate that. Anyways, guys, I know you guys are here with your friends, you're eating dinner. I really just crashed this, but I appreciate it. And anyways, have a good one, guys. I enjoyed this. This is definitely more interesting interviews I've done in the last couple days.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.